Tomato season is one really exciting time for me, and I believe many gardeners all over the world. I think in the UK it's even more exciting because we have a really short growing season. So you start with tiny seeds in the winter because that's the way you can do it on the grow light, and then in the spring you bring them out, and after your last frost date you can plant them out. Now tomatoes are actually high maintenance plants. Yeah, for us in the UK, unlike some people that just use cages and they don't need to do things like pruning, taking down dead leaves. Otherwise, you have the disease, one especially called blight, that happens when the leaves touch water, or also just when we have a lot of rain, which we sometimes do have really wet summers. Now, this year has been crazy for me. I have had such a busy season that I neglected my tomato plants. Yep, I wasn't able to do the staking, the pruning, and at this stage, the plants were literally begging me to attend to them. So we start by staking. Now we stake it this way in the UK. This is what I've seen other gardeners do. It's a cheap method to staking and it works. And our season is so short and our plants don't grow so robust because we don't have really hot warm nights. So these stakes can tolerate or handle light fruit. Now, when you stake them, you tie them up with some sort of, gentle twine. That way you prevent the plants from damaging the stem, or prevent the twine from damaging the stem like I've done there. But you have to take things like side shoots. You take the extra branches off the tomatoes and let just one single stem remain. So I'm taking off all the side ones, and you have to keep doing this because it will constantly want to give you side shoots. So if you hear about tomato side shoots or runners, those are what you need to get rid of, and you want to leave the lower leaves off and just have plants literally at the top. Now inspect it properly, because you see what happened there. I thought I'd done it and one was still hiding. So this is part of the maintenance of our tomato plants in the UK, constantly going up to tie them so they're staked up, and also taking down the lower leaves so the disease tendency is reduced and there is good airflow as well. One other major thing I do with my tomato plants is I feed them weekly with comfrey. Now I make comfrey feed, which is a really organic, feed. You can also use fish emulsion. I also sometimes do a foliar spray of comfrey. This keeps my plants strong, vigorous in a short season, and also ensures I get decent fruit, at the end of the day. Now this year things have slowed down because we had such a cold spring. Well, fingers crossed, we've had a week without rain, so we're hopeful that we will get decent harvest. Like I said, our season is different from the American, so those of you in the USA or other hotter climates, you will probably not understand what we're talking about. Now look at the result of me letting my tomato plants be on the floor. The stems are all twisted, knobbly, and yeah, wonky, and this is not really good, but hopefully they'll be fine. Now I have started staking them. If I didn't do this now, we'll have plants that will go so unruly, get disease prone, and I wouldn't be able to even harvest them. And the plants will use their energy growing lots of side shoots and not actually giving me fruits. I'll show you what the ones I have looked after previously looks like. Now I'm trying to stake this other section, and yeah, it's another method of staking just to ensure you can just have your plants, upright and with good airflow. This is my first tomato bed, and we have cages. Now cages are really good, but they're quite expensive. So for me, I don't think it's sustainable. They cost quite a lot, and these are early plants. These ones here with the cages, I just had to trial them and see how they go. So I'll let you guys know later in the season how these cages work. I plan not to take side shoots out of these cages only because that's what I've seen people do in the USA, and they get massive harvest. Now the early plants, like I said, are beginning to fruit and they're doing well, and the stems are not as knobbly as the previous ones because I started staking them earlier. So this is something, if you have tomato plants, just try staking them as early as you can. Now the plants have struggled. The sweet corn is looking happy, thankfully, and these tomatoes are beginning to pick up. So we're hoping we'll have the next couple of months warm enough for them to fruit and ripen, and for us to have our beautiful, delicious homemade tomato sauce we love making. Now, these plants are at home and they're totally different microclimate. The home garden is fenced, so it doesn't get as cold at night, and so we have more fruits. Look at that. Like pretty much every plant in my home garden has fruits. Yes, I plant a lot of tomatoes because we don't get as much from our climate. And look at this beautiful fruit. So guys, this is my tomatoes being pampered. I am grateful I've been able to do this. And just so you know, I know it's hard work to grow tomatoes, but it's worthwhile. Do you grow any tomatoes? What is your home garden or your allotment situation? Let me know in the comment section. How do you stake them as economically as possible, and how are your fruits doing? I'm hopeful that we don't get early blight, and yeah, fingers crossed we'll harvest tomatoes, and I'll share with you my beautiful delicious tomato sauce at the end of the season. Thank you for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, and bye.